Hey, MegaJeff here for another thread response. Some fun threads. Fun with threads. Yeah, there we go. This one is for Martin over at the Vinyl Scavenger. Now, he's pushing to 500 subscribers. However, now I saw this, I'm not sure what day this will post, but on the day that I'm shooting this video, interestingly enough, when I watched the video, he was at 477. About 4 or 5 hours later, when I pulled everything and had a break in work that I could actually do this video, I checked again. He was at 492. So I've seen a couple people enter this, so it's helping. He's already jumped forward 15 subscribers just in a couple hours today. So let's push him over to 500 and keep it going from there. It's called Red or Dead. I'm going to show 10 albums, 5 with what he's looking for is red spines, and people that are no longer with us that are dead. So in some cases, I didn't want to go the extra mile and really do much research to try to find 10 red ones that also included people who were dead. Could have went that route, but anyway, I'm going to do this a little more simply. But some of the people on the red albums do count as being also passed on, but that's not what we're going to focus on. But like, for instance, April Wine, we know that Miles Goodwin passed away in 2023. So yeah, but that's a great red one, really red, great red album altogether. And then of course, I saw somebody show one of the videos I saw, they showed the Beatles. So there you go, there's some red Beatles. And of course we know 2 of these people are no longer with us. So we got some people there that are also on the dead side of things. On the edge of this one, we got the Gov't Mule album, the new Gov't Mule album, newer Gov't Mule album. Now, nobody on this album is dead, but we do know that back in 2000, Alan Woody, the longtime bass player for the band, had passed away. And that was a big loss. They did some albums in tribute to him and everything, but the band has continued on. But there you go. The band itself has a passed away member. Here's one that may be a little less known to people, but Bryn Haworth, and it's red. It's red. Bryn is from the UK and has done quite a few albums. On this particular album, the band behind him, or the band he's playing with, is the Eric Clapton band. So anyway, some classic stuff. I've got a few albums by him. Like I say, I'm not sure how familiar he is to most people out there, but just some good old, just right in the pocket rock. And then the last one is Where Angels Fear to Tread by Heaven, also another red one. So Heaven, Australian band. There you go. 5 that are red. Now we're going to move into those who are on the dead side. And this one, while it's not red on the spine, he's wearing red on the cover. Andy Gibb. I went old school for these. I went past in the deep past for this. I grew up as a child in the mid to late 70s listening to a lot of disco type stuff, the Bee Gees, and Andy Gibb was one of those ones that I loved his voice. I still love his voice. Such a smooth voice. And I was sad to hear, he passed away in 1988. Apparently from heart problems that apparently might have stemmed, well, I don't know. There's, possible drugs in there, but anyway, it was a heart failure, I believe, is ultimately. And yes, he was the younger of the B.G. Gibbs brothers. So, yes. And that is his last time. He did, 3 albums, solo albums. And so he is no longer with us, nor is teen idol David Cassidy, who I was hoping to get to see in concert. He came here somewhere in the a couple years before he passed away. He passed away in 2017. He played here at a show, but man, the tickets were I think the cheapest tickets were $150, and I really wanted to go. I just couldn't pull the trigger to buy that, and then lo and behold, a couple years later, he passed away. So, yeah. Been a big fan since the Partridge Family. People know, if you watch my channel long enough, that that's one of my little strange loves. Is I love the Partridge Family and David Cassidy. So another one that's no longer with us, of course, the classic Michael Jackson, 2009, heart failure, drug-related, doctor overprescribed or whatever. So anyway, so yeah, we got the incredible Michael Jackson with his great legacy of music behind, who is no longer with us. Or is he? Anyway, another one that's going to be a little less known probably, and that is the album is Ideola. The main person behind it is Mark Hurd. Mark Hurd did do mostly music in the contemporary Christian era, so that's why you may not know about as much about him. I never got into Mark Hurd, his solo album, but he did this weird album. It's very new wavy and poppy and electronica, and I got this album back in the day. Didn't know who Mark Hurd was, didn't really know much of his music. He's more the singer-songwriter kind of guy from what I understand as far as his music. This is totally not like that. Fell in love with this album. Absolutely fell in love with this album. Back in the day, it was really hard to find on CD when it came out. I used to prize that CD because I was able to find one. Then when I got back into vinyl, obviously I wanted to get it on vinyl. Found it in a consignment thrift store type thing in North Carolina, and I was just so thrilled to finally have that. So yes, but he is no longer with us as of 1992. And then another one, this one we lost in 2023 to cancer, and that's Mylon Lefevre. I went way back to his first album. Well, this is the first album I've got, and the band that's backing him up on this album, one of his first real solo albums. He did one or two earlier albums to this in the 60s. That was, his family is a gospel family, gospel music family. And he did an album, I think, in the 60s that was mainly a focus on him that was gospel related. I'd love to get that. But this is his first, when he went secular. He kind of left the family business and went out. And great stuff. He did quite a few albums under Mylon Lefevre, Mylon and Holy Smoke, that were southern rocky. They did have a gospel flair in the sense that, as a lot of bands did in the 70s, there were spiritual lyrics. There were songs that were, gospelship. And there were songs that showed his Christian upbringing. And then, of course, we know as he got into the 80s, he went full force into Christian music, into the CCM, and then he later into like Christian rock type pop rock, electronic pop rock. And I have all of that stuff. Love all that stuff. And then he kind of got out of music with Mylon and, with the band that he was in. And he did some stuff, but he was more ministry oriented, didn't do as much in music up until the later days, and passed away in 2023. So there you go. 5 Rad, 5 Dead. Martin over at the Vinyl Scavenger. Link below. Make sure you check him out. Subscribe. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. How about that? That's a chore, right? Let's do it. We'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.